The City of Ottawa's Transit Committee will meet today amid a tumultuous time for transit in Ottawa. There have been several service interruptions on Line 1. Service is running on the full line, but more slowly than usual. Plus, the city's transit union now says an extended LRT shutdown is a possibility after the mayor did not rule it out during a press conference last week. Why don't we bring in right now Ottawa City councillors and Transit Committee members, Tim Tierney and Wilson Lowe. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Transit City members. Okay, so Transit Committee members.
Yeah.
So obviously you are on the forefront.
Oh, yes.
What's happening? You find out about fixes that need to be made, possible delays. Okay, so I got to start with you, Tim Tierney.
Go for it.
Riders in your riding
Yes.
have to be deeply concerned right now with the East extension delays. Talk about that.
Yeah, thanks, Rosie, and thanks for having us on. We're probably the two most vocal members of the committee. I've been on for 16 years. I've watched ebbs and flows. This is definitely the most difficult point for us as an organization. The Eastend, we need to know when that's going to roll out. That is key. Now, there is a bit of a silver lining here. I think the new transit boss, Rick Leary, is going to come in. He's going to make some omelets and scramble some eggs, but he's going to be honest with us. And I think we're going to see some progress on the Eastend line for sure. But that's what I'm expecting today. I want to hear more about the Eastend rollout. We were promised last year, we were promised earlier this year. Is that really possible with the limited number of trains, as you mentioned earlier this morning? We'll have to wait and see today.
Okay, Wilson Lowe, there's been an issue with the Spalling on the LRT, and that may result in further shutdown to fix that issue. What do you know about this, and what are your thoughts on moving forward with fixing that very issue and the possibility of then closing down the LRT to fix it?
Yeah, well, in the past, like OC Transpo have not been shy about, more recently rather, OC Transpo has not been shy about being forthcoming about what's going on, and you know, they have closed down the system when they had to, right? The extended July 2023 shutdown, I believe, was the last time we sort of had this extended shutdown. So, you know, the mayor, I believe the mayor only did not rule it out as a possibility. I don't think it's going ahead just yet. But I think, you know, whatever we need to do to get the system fixed, whatever we need to do to get the system rolling as it's supposed to, especially in advance of two major extensions coming online in the next 2 years, we should do.
Wilson, I'm just wondering, you're on the Transit Committee. What can you do as Transit Committee members, you both are, to move this along? Can you make any suggestions that could actually take hold to improve the service, or are you both on the, as committee members, simply there to take in the information and then just pass it along to your constituents?
It feels like the latter sometimes, but I think us as the oversight body, we have to make a really tough decision if it comes forward. Like, that is our job, up to and including the people who are at the helm of our transit system, right? And if we feel dissatisfied with the way they're doing, then it is also it's not completely out of the question for us to ask the city manager or the new GM now to make some wholesale changes at the organization if needed.
Tim, what are you hearing from residents in your riding about their thoughts on the current level of service at OC Transpo?
Oh, it's horrific. Let's call it for what it is. And I think you alluded to it this morning, and Wilson and I have been very on top of it. You say, are we really neutered? Do we have no power? Well, our power is our voice, and we've been very public about this. For 3 years, I've rattled on about this. The perfect storm has come where we saw a shortage of buses. Wilson's been as a former operator, very critical of that. Now we're slowly starting to see those buses in. This is a big part of the puzzle. So certainly we need those buses. And I just saw the new graph go up today where it says we're supposed to be at 109. Well, guess what? I'm going to be pressing them very hard today. I want to make sure we get the buses on the line, because if there is a shutdown, you need to replace that line with buses. Right now, we're almost at the point of using rickshaws in this city because we are so short in numbers. That's a failure. So we want to make sure that we get those bus numbers up. We prepare if we actually have to find the eventual root cause of what's really. I still keep thinking it's a herd and a curve. They'll keep denying it. We'll wait and see. Okay. But when we get to that point, if we have to make a decision to fix this once and for all, you need the buses to be part of the solution.
Okay, final word coming from you, Councillor Lowe. We only have a few seconds left here. We're talking about safety in bathrooms along the LRT station. Some of the bathrooms have been closed, and you spoke out about that recently. What do we know more about that?
It's nothing new since last week. The answers I got were we're still doing a risk assessment to make sure that the washrooms can reopen and then stay reopened. Because it's there's no point if we reopen them only to have them close again for the same issue within a few days. So once there's more information on that, I think we'll be able to make a decision on what the next steps are, including any mitigations and additions to the washrooms to keep them safe.
Okay. Councillor Lowe, Councillor Tierney, thank you so much for coming on. You've got the transit meeting tonight.
Yeah, today, actually.
Today.
At 10 o'clock, you got us all fired up, Rosie. We're ready
Good.
to rock.
Today, that's right, in just a few hours, and let's see what else can be done to move this forward so that we can elevate public transportation in this city. Everyone deserves really a good, reliable public transportation.
They should pay you. You're a great advocate for public transit.
I love public transportation. Anyway, thank you very much for coming on and
you.
addressing some of the issues, and we'll see what comes of the meeting this morning.
All right.
All right. Thank you to both of you.